That's it, we're live on YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We'll be live in 1 second, hopefully on Instagram. Here we go, let's go on Instagram. Good morning, welcome. Another week, starting another week, a little bit more mobilization, bit of motivation. I've been playing around with some more sort of like arm, shoulder looseners and things, so we'll see if I can remember them and have a little explore of them today. But as always, a bit of movement, a bit of mobilization, and we'll finish, hopefully, with a little bit of seated breath work as well. So, find yourself some space where you've got space side to side, front and back. Just check the screen there. And let's start off with just a little bit of gentle shaking, just shaking out the wrists, shaking out the arms, freeing up the shoulders, just shaking out the legs. Maybe taking a couple of fuller breaths if you feel that's good. Feel just to take a breath in, let the breath go. If we do that fuller breath, it's quite nice just to have a little pause at the top of the breath as well. Shaking out. And then come to a comfortable standing position. I was watering my plants and the plant's in the way. I'll just move that out of the way. Comfortable standing position, feet shoulder width apart, and just feel that connection into the ground. Maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. Standing tall. And just letting the breath settle. So just noticing easy breath in and out through the nose. Remember, we're not trying to change anything here. We're just checking in with the breath. And then we'll start some movement, moving from the hips and the waist. And then just letting the arms free. Bending the elbows, tapping the back and belly, knocking on the door of life. Arm that swings across the front, light fist, let's tap on that long point, tip of the lungs, just above the collarbone on the pecs. Let's get into the shoulders now, so cupping the hand right into the shoulders. Back down to chest. Belly, Slowing it down now into water waves. And come into a standing position. Let's take our palms towards the ground, roundness in the elbows. And just focusing on, as the breath settles, think of horizontal expansion here in the ribs. So as you're breathing in, imagine you're just blowing up 2 balloons to the side there. So we're not taking big breaths here, you're just taking normal breaths, but just imagining that expansion laterally in the rib cage. Shoulder circles, so just rounding, lifting, up and back. Using the spine too, so you get that little wave through the spine, just breathing easy. Steady movement. If anybody has any pain, you just stop. Let's change direction. And then bring arms in, stretching out the fingers, rotating, spiraling. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. Change direction when you're ready, pushing out to the sides. Feel that spiral through the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. And have a little bit of a shake out. Been playing around with a couple of other arm and shoulder movements. Let's see if I can remember them. So we're going to swing round. This is the easy one. Swing one arm round. Again, if you've got any pain, stop. Yeah, make sure you're not whacking your fingers on anything, please. And then the other one. Then you know what we're going to do in a minute. We're going to swing them both together. So swing. And shake out. And then we're going to come down. So this is not like a stretch that we just in there. Just going to come down the front and down the front and down the front. So it's almost like you're washing your face. So again, it's nice on the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades and then go the other way. Shake out. Should feel good. Shoulders back. Arms, let's just go into our standing position, just soft, 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 palms to the ground. Let the breath settle. Notice how, when you've done that little bit more energetic movement, breath increases, heart rate increases, just let it settle naturally. Go a little bit wider on the feet. Let's do hip circles now. Now you can, if you want, to put your hands on your hips if that helps. I quite like actually just letting the arms dangle a little bit, because I think I mentioned last time, I noticed what I was doing was I was sort of like holding my right shoulder up a little bit like that, not quite as much as that, but holding tension where we didn't need tension. So that's why it's quite nice sometimes just to let the arms dangle. Still keep that chest lifted. Remember, just that very subtle lift of the sternum as you come with the hips forwards. Let's change direction. Breathing in and out through the nose and shake out. Come to hip width apart again. See if we can keep our feet parallel on this one. We're just going to do some knee circles. So you are bringing your knee in and out and around. So in, you're putting the weight through the arch of the foot as you drop in, out and round. Feel how that works in the hip as well. Another one that I've been exploring this weekend, that whole spiral through the moment the foot lands on the ground, absorbs the force as it lands on the ground through the arch of the foot, knee and hip. And if we've got any restriction here, any tightness here, then it's going to be stuck maybe at some point. So again, it's working on that spiral. Let's go on to the other side. So balance. And then let the rest of the body just follow. So I'm not just doing the knee, just that gentle movement. Because again, when we land on the ground, whether you're walking or running, you're going to absorb through the whole body. We don't want to stick anywhere. And then you can do it together. So in, out, and shake out. Take a moment, let the breath settle, and we're going to go fist width apart, or about fist width apart, a little bit narrower on your stance. We'll do some balance. So balancing on, if I'm mirroring, we're on the right side, and then we're just going to flex, lift the upper leg, flex the foot, point the toes. And then we can do some ankle circles, spreading the toes. Changing direction. Use your tigers if you want, and then have that shake out that ankle. Stand for a moment. Do the same on the other side, so balance, stabilize. Oh, don't fall over. Flexion, pointing the toes. Ankle circles. Change direction. Shake out. Let's come back to standing. And then going shoulder width apart. Let's do some tigers. So feel how you've just worked the feet connecting to the ground. Nice and strong through the feet. Now you can either stay with the tigers, you can make it smaller if you want to make it smaller, we don't want to be out of breath, or we can go a little bit lower and just rock forwards. We can stay doing that, or if you feel comfortable, remember we can just bring those knees a little bit further forwards. And I really emphasize, I want you to be breathing easy. If you're out of breath, we need to take a rest. It's not about forcing. If you lose control of the breath, you lose control of the movement. So we could just be here if you want to be here. Could do almost like just a spine wave. If you can again, I'm playing around with what are sort of like the key things we just need to have a little go of every day. And we're almost there. Let's do one or two more. And then when you're ready, we can come up and take a rest. You will notice breath rate will increase. So you want to take a bigger breath. Maybe you want to just let that breath go. And then just keep the breath in and out through the nose. You might feel a little bit warmer. Heart rate will increase. Let the breath settle. Let's do a little bit of diaphragm, a bit more activation of the diaphragm, a bit more active breath, a bit more driving sympathetic nervous system. Then we'll do some seated calming breath. So with the active breath, you can rest in this position. Let's start in this position. Reason I'm doing this position is think of it as like a recovery position. If you think, oh, I need to get my breath back, this is a recovery position your body would naturally take. And the reason why that is because it helps you breathe into the back. It takes the role of the diaphragm away from supporting the spine. So it means you can actually get your breath back quicker. It frees up these top ribs as well. And in this position, you can feel the diaphragm. So I want you to breathe in through the nose. We'll breathe in through the nose for a count of 2. And then you'll just bring that diaphragm. It's almost like you're bringing your belly button towards the spine. You're using your muscles to bring that diaphragm so the diaphragm comes back up into the rib cage. If you have blood pressure issues, if you have any cardiovascular issues, if you're pregnant, if you start to feel dizzy, do not do this exercise. We are deliberately activating the sympathetic nervous system. We do it nice and gently. So breathe in for 2 and out, and 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 in for 2 and out, in for 2 and out. 2 more, in for 2 and out, in for 2 and out. And then hold the breath there. Just hold the breath on the out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going if you feel comfortable. 9, 10, and then breathe easy into the back. Now you can do the exhale through the nose. It can get a little bit snotty. You're not really hyperventilating if we're not doing it for a long period of time, but you are going to be lowering your CO2 levels a little bit. So that's why it's quite nice to hold at the end, just to bring everything back to balance, and just breathing light as well. Again, you might start to feel a little bit warm by doing this. We'll do it one more time. So I think we did about 8 to 10 there. If you need to stand up and have a little shake, stand up and have a little shake. If you want to go a little bit lower, you can go a little bit lower. If you want to go into water buffalo, you can go into water buffalo. So your choice, you can go here, here, or water buffalo. I quite like this because again, it frees up the arms. Keep that chest lifted though. We're not rounding and looking at the floor. So keep the chest lifted. Okay, let's let the breath settle. Then we'll go in through the nose for 2 and out. In, out, in, out, in, out. In, you'll feel it going into the belly, and out. In, out, in, out, in, out. We'll do 2 more. In, out, in, out. And then hold, pause at the bottom. Just go for a comfortable pause. Maybe you can go a little bit longer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe easy. If you want to come back up into the recovery position, breathe into the back, in and out through the nose. If you prefer to stand up, stand up. And then take your time to come up to standing. A lot of people were taught, get the breath back in this position. But actually, if you come into this position, guess what? Most of the time the ribs flare out and then you can't get that breath into the back. The diaphragm's not in a great place. You haven't got that good zone of apposition. So this is the best recovery position. You get all your coaches going, oh no, that's wrong. This is not a great position to get that breath recovery. This is it. This will bring your heart rate down quicker. Take a seat. You can either sit on the floor or take a seat on a chair. And we'll just do a few minutes. I can see the clock there. So feel supported. Feet on the ground if you're on a chair. Supported on the chair. It sounds silly, but if you're supported, your body signals to the brain, we're safe. If you're on a chair where you're not quite supported on, or maybe your feet aren't in contact to the ground, the brain is constantly thinking, oh, there's a possibility of danger. So the idea of being supported is not woo-woo, it's telling the brain, we're safe, we're stable, we're supported. You're tall through the spine. It's the same thing with relaxing the face. You watch people who are stressed, you'll see it in their face. So we can send that signal the other way. Remember, the signal is bidirectional. If we relax the face, the brain goes, can't be any danger because my face is relaxed. Think if you go to watch something that's really funny, if you're having a good laugh, can you be stressed out when you're laughing? Try it. You might be tired because you're laughing, but you're not going to be like, oh, this is horrible. So relaxing the face, softening into the brow, softening around the eyes, softening into the jaw. Classic place where we hold tension. If the jaw is tense, again, that signals to the rest of the body, to the brain. There's got to be something going on. We're tense, we're tight in the jaw. So relax that jaw, soften and relax into the jaw. Gently resting the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And then just noticing the breath in and out through the nose. So notice what we've done in this setup is you've told the brain, you've told your mind, we're safe. If you tell your mind you're safe, guess what? The breath naturally slows. If we just go straight to the breath, but we've got tension in the face and we're a bit wobbly, then the breath is going to respond to the mind being in alert or awareness. So we just created the conditions just to allow the breath just to be very gentle and soft, calm and rhythmical in and out through the nose. When your mind drifts off, you suddenly realize your mind has wandered off somewhere, absolutely fine. But we know we've got that physical sensation that you can bring your focus back to. The physical sensation of the air in and out through the nose. Feel the coolness, so all that space you've got behind the nose, that you can feel the air as it circulates, as it flows in that space, the nasal cavity. And then take a big breath, have a little bit of a stretch, have a little twist. So remember, breath work doesn't have to be doing stuff all of the time. And you don't have to spend hours and hours doing your breath work. Just think what we did there. Sorry, I know we've gone over a little bit. Couple of minutes, just giving yourself that ability to let the nervous system calm, and then you're ready. We've done a little bit of motivation, a little bit of activation, a little bit of calming. The breath has changed with what we've been doing, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be monotone. It shouldn't be flat or a particular technique all of the time. Excellent. Sorry, we've gone a little bit over time. Saturday, if you're in the core, if you're the core members, the Zoom members, we've got that class, remember, at 10 o'clock in the morning. I will send you an email on that. I think we're going to do some floor flow. That's what we're going to do. So have a mat ready, and it gives us an hour so we can spend a little bit more time. So you're not just watching. We're going to play with some stuff on the mat on Saturday. That is the plan. Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you as always for jumping in. Sorry we've gone over. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you on Wednesday anyway before Saturday. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.